ABC's decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel's late night show over his Charlie Kirk comments is sparking mixed reactions, with Democrats, like you just heard, uniformly condemning the move. Former President Barack Obama tweeted, quote, "After years of complaining about cancel culture, the current administration has taken it to a new dangerous level." California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom wrote, quote, "There is no such thing as free speech under Donald Trump's reign." And ranking member of the House Oversight Committee, Robert Garcia, is launching an investigation into the decision. Let's bring in our panel now. Juliegrace Brufke is a congressional correspondent for 24/7 News, and Hugo Lowell is a White House correspondent for The Guardian. Juliegrace, Hugo, great to see you both.
Good to be here.
Juliegrace, we've heard a lot of fiery reaction from Democrats. Is that what you expected?
To some extent, yeah. And I think even behind the scenes, I mean, largely we've seen Republicans kind of come out forcefully for this and arguing that it was a network decision and kind of dismissing those concerns. But I've talked to some moderate Republicans on background, too, that have some pretty strong First Amendment concerns about all of this. So whether they start to come out publicly on that, it kind of remains to be seen. But I mean, in theory, Republicans won't necessarily have the majority forever. And I think that these subpoenas could be a very real thing, and whether the Democrat investigations really go anywhere right now kind of remains to be seen. But it's, I mean, I think it's going to be an issue that's not going to go away anytime soon. It's going to be a huge focus for Democrats.
And it's interesting that you said on background, because publicly, on the record, many Republicans are celebrating this move. Take a listen.
I have no problem with it. I think some of these people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are getting what the market wants, and they're getting what he deserves.
So arguably, Hugo, this is a decision that flies in the face of free speech. So how can Republicans who want to be the face of free speech also be celebrating this move?
Yeah, look, I thought that comment just there was kind of interesting. You know, he was saying that, you know, the market dictated this move. Well, it's not quite that straightforward, right? There are a lot of factors at play here, including the fact that the first decision to not air Kimmel's show was taken by Sinclair and Tegna, you know, two kind of regional broadcasting corporations that have their own potential deal coming in the offing, and they need FCC, and they need an FCC waiver for that deal to close. And so when he says like the market, yes, okay, well, it's not so much the market of the consumer, it's really the market of you know, corporate executives trying to get their acquisition deal through. So I think that's number one. And the second thing, you know, conservatives going around and saying, look, you know, this is just what happens when you have, you know, low ratings on popular content. Well, the moment you have Brendan Carr, you know, the FCC chair, weigh in on this, the moment you have President Trump, like, you know, coming back from London today on Air Force One, he basically told the poor on the plane that, you know, if these late night shows are criticizing him all the time, that shouldn't be allowed because they're licensed, which, by the way, is a massive escalation in where we were even 24 hours ago. But the moment you have the president saying this and you have the FCC chair saying this, it injects a degree of political interference, or the veneer, at least, of political interference into the conversation. And I think the issue with that kind of congressional Republicans forget sometimes is the equivalent on the other side would be someone like Joe Biden complaining about Fox News and Gutfeld, saying, oh, you know, they're always criticizing me, you know, we should review Fox News' licensing and their ability to broadcast. And, you know, Republicans, I think, you know, get caught up in the moment sometimes, and they forget that when the shoe's on the other foot is actually not so great.
Yes, and that is a big part of the conversation. It's the other part of this that's interesting is it's happening at the same time that the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, is getting a lot of backlash from members of the Republican Party because she says she wants to crack down on hate speech. It seems like this is a tricky thing for them to weave.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of these members are kind of walking a tightrope on that right now. And yesterday there was a censure resolution that ultimately got tabled with Ilhan Omar that Nancy Mace had introduced. And I talked to one of the Republicans that ultimately opted not to support the Republican position on that pointed out that Charlie Kirk himself had said that you should be able to speak freely, and pointed to a tweet there. So it's kind of, I mean, given the circumstances, kind of an interesting thing to see them navigate this messaging.
It's not easy.
Well, but on the Pam Bondi point, there's also the bigger factors at play here, right? When Pam Bondi went on Fox News and says, hate speech, which is something that we will prosecute, and she brought up this thing about, if someone didn't want to print out a Charlie Kirk poster, then that's equivalent hate speech, and we're going to prosecute that too. And she kind of walked that claim back later because that's just factually not correct on the law. And I think that was recognized by everyone, and she kind of got ahead of herself, and whether that was because she was grieving Charlie Kirk's assassination, or whether she was trying to get ahead of the president, trying to show that she was being tough on the issue. That if you leave that to the side for a minute, I think there is an element here that it's all becoming very, very politically charged and just factually incorrect on the law.
But it seems like just the very notion that she would separate hate speech into its own category was enough to upset many people in the base.
Yeah, on both sides of the aisle, to your point, right? Like Democrats, think this is outrageous that the Attorney General will come out and say we're going to start prosecuting people for, what they say, and that it's hate speech, even if it doesn't rise to the level of incitement, which is what the DOJ put out later. But also conservatives too, because they have been big champions of we need to be able to say what we want, and during the Biden years, that was obviously a big issue.
It's definitely been an interesting pivot to watch, and we'll see if it sticks.
Yeah, I think to your point, this issue is only going to become bigger as we continue to talk about it. I want to chat briefly about an excerpt from Kamala Harris's upcoming book, because she revealed that Pete Buttigieg was actually her first choice for her running mate, but she felt it was, quote, too big of a risk for a Black woman to run with a gay man. I just wonder your reaction to this.
I mean, it is fascinating to a degree how this is all coming out when it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, none of these discussions were had during the campaign, and, we both covered it, and these were not things that came up then. And I think, like, maybe with hindsight, maybe Harris and her team would have done things differently. But I think also people forget that in the moment, it was a very, very charged environment. Trump was running again, Biden was dropping out, and, like, I see both sides of this. On the one side, I see the fact that in that charged moment, you don't want to take a risk, and yet, on the other side, she maybe had the best opportunity to do so then.
I see your point that it doesn't matter because that election is behind us, but these are two people who have, high ambitions and political, probably presidential aspirations for both of them. I wonder what a comment like this does to either of them.
I mean, I don't know how it plays with the Democrat base coming out and saying that. I mean, I think speaking to some friends that are Democrats, I feel like they feel Pete Buttigieg may have kind of fired up voters and provided something new and kind of something to kind of incite voters to get out for. So I guess we'll kind of see how that plays out politically and what her next moves are.
Yes, we will be definitely watching that. Julie, Grace, and Hugo, thank you so much. And please take some candy that our host, Major Garrett, would insist on.
That I will do.